Welcome to Ground Control. I have the Radiolink CM210 2S Smart Balance Charger. This is the same charger that is included in the box with the Radiolink A560 3D plane. It is tiny, but it has a lot of cool features. I mean, this is something you can put in your pocket and take to the field with you. So I have a 2S 500 milliamp hour LiPo that I'm currently charging on it. I have my voltage, my battery meter here, so I can test it after it says it's fully charged. But this little charger is as cheap as beans, and it has a lot of cool features. And one of the features that I wanted to talk about, it has a charging mode, a balance mode, and a repair mode. And the function I want to talk about first is the repair mode, because that is a really cool feature. Anybody who has been in the RC hobby for a while, I'm sure that you have accidentally pulled your packs down below 3 volts per cell. I've done that a few times, never on purpose, always by accident, but it happens. And my normal balance charger will refuse to balance charge a pack if one of the cells is below 3 volts. So what I've typically had to do in the past is I've had to take an external battery and I've had to connect it up to the wires that go to the low cell and apply some voltage to that one cell until I get it above 3 volts. If it's both cells that are below 3 volts on a 2S pack, I've had to do that to both of them and get them at or above 3 volts before my balance charger will charge them. It will just completely refuse to charge them if they're below 3 volts. So it has a repair mode on it that's specifically for that purpose. So it says low power pre-charge. When it's detected that the voltage of a single cell of the battery is lower than 3 volts, a small current is used to activate the battery to restore the battery capacity to at or above 3 volts before it starts the balance charge. It does that automatically. How cool is that? I mean, that feature alone, I think, pays for this little charger. I did check it. I've got links to it in the show notes. I checked it on Amazon at the Radiolink store on Amazon. It was selling for $12.99. Like I said, cheap as beans. I also have a link to the Radiolink store on AliExpress, and it's $9.99 with free shipping. So I think for the price you can't beat it. Okay, and then it said, and then it has a fast charge mode. So when it is detected that the voltage of a single cell of the battery is higher than 3 volts and lower than 4.16 volts, 1.5 amps is used to charge the battery. And then it goes into, once it gets to 4.16 volts, it gets really close to 4.2 volts, it goes into what's called trickle charge. When it's detected that the voltage of a single cell of the battery is higher than 4.16 volts, 0.8 amps is used to charge the battery to make the battery fully charged and avoid overcharging. So, and that's the way balance chargers work. I mean, they'll fast charge it till it gets to a certain point, and then they will really back off and make sure that the voltage of the battery gets completely to 4.2 volts per cell and that it holds that voltage. So, all right, so when you first connect, it uses a C-type USB cable. It came with this USB cable. I've just got a powered USB hub up here to plug it into. So when you first connect it, and I'll bring the camera in here shortly so that you can see it, because the lights are so tiny you're not going to be able to see it from where the camera is now. I always put my LiPos at storage level before I pack them away, and that's approximately 3.8 volts per cell. So when I first plugged this charger in and then plugged the battery into it, it had a solid green light. The first light was green, the second light was flashing. So it detected that the pack voltage was higher than 7.44 volts. So at storage level, it should have been around 7.6 volts per cell. So otherwise, if it was below 7.4 volts, the first charging light would have been flashing instead of solid. So it has, looks like 5 5 charging lights, and it uses the step ladder, you know, so every time the battery reaches a higher voltage, then one battery will go solid, one light will go solid, the next light will start flashing. Once all the lights are solid green, that means the battery is fully charged. So it says charging time for a 500 milliamp hour 2S battery, which is precisely what this is about 40 minutes. Voltage precision for full voltage is 4.2 volts plus or minus 0.02 volts. Charging efficiency, it says, is higher than 82%. All right, so here's the specs on it. It weighs 9 grams. The dimensions of the charger are 40.5 millimeter by 21 millimeter by 15 millimeter. The input voltage is 5 volts. So it has an internal buck boost voltage regulator that converts the 5 volts into 8.4 volts. And a standard USB port provides somewhere between, some of them will provide 2 amps of power, some of them will provide 3 amps of power. So the standard charging current is 1.5 amps and the balanced current is 0.8 after it reaches 4.16 volts per cell. The max output is 20 watts. As I stated, it uses a USB port Type-C connector, and it's specifically for 2S LiPos. No 1S LiPos, nothing higher than 2S. It's specifically for 2S LiPos. The working modes are charging mode, balance mode, repair mode. And like I said, that repair mode is absolutely awesome. And the batteries that's happened to me on 3 or 4 different occasions is I have a couple of different sets of Fat Shark FPV goggles, and both of those goggles take 2S LiPos to power them. And there's been times where I've been out flying, not paying attention to how long I've had my FPV goggles on, and sure enough, I pulled the voltage on the cells down below 3 volts. So I don't have, this is great for taking out to your car, taking it with a USB power brick, you know, to plug into. You plug into a USB port on your car. You can take your USB charging brick you use for your phone, you can use for this charger. Everything these days has got USB charging ports on it. So you're going to be able to use this just about anywhere. Okay, so here's how the ladder works. I want to discuss that a little bit. And I've got, the third light is flashing now, so it's going to take a while before that fully charges. It says when you plug it in, all green LEDs will flash once, meaning that the charger is calibrated after it's powered on. When the charger is powered on, no battery is connected, you'll have a little red LED up here on the top. And I saw that before I plugged the battery in. If the charger detects an abnormality, there will be a red light flashing on the charger. So it could be that there's a bad connection with the battery or something. So it says to reconnect the battery and troubleshoot the cabling or whatever. But if you see a red flashing light, you know there's something wrong somewhere. The first green LED flashes when the battery voltage is less than 7.4 volts. The first LED green will be solid when the voltage is between 7.4 volt and 7.8 volt. Okay, so when you have 2 solid green lights and the third LED is flashing, the pack is between 7.8 volts and 8.2 volts. When 3 LEDs are solid and the fourth one is flashing, the voltage is between 8.2 volts and 8.4 volts. And then when all 4 LEDs are always on or solid, the battery is fully charged. So with this information, looking at the charging ladder on the lights, you can actually tell what the pack voltage is by which lights are solid and which are flashing. So that's handy. And it looks like now this battery is fully charged. You know, when I put it on here, I had 1 solid green light and the second one was flashing, and just since we've been sitting here talking about it, I've got a fully charged battery now. It says a fully charged battery. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera in here so that you can see the LED lights on the CM210 charger, so that you can see that it's showing 4 solid LED lights, and then we're going to take it off the charger. We're going to put it on the battery meter and make sure that we've got 4.2 volts per cell. So see you in a minute. Okay, so hopefully you can see that it's showing 4 solid LEDs. Alright, so let's see how close we are. 4.2, 4.2. We definitely got a fully charged LiPo there, and you can see now that there's no battery attached to it. Now you see that red LED light. So yeah, so that's a pretty handy dandy little lightweight, compact, just tiny USB 2S charger. So I'll tell you what I'm going to be using this for right away is I use 2S LiPos in my TX16S transmitter. I typically have to use one of the ports on my balance charger to also not only charge my flight battery, but also charge the battery for my transmitter. With this little handy dandy 2S balance charger, now I'll be able to use this to balance charge my transmitter batteries, and that will leave a port open for another flight battery charging at the same time. So if you use it for nothing else, it might be worthwhile using it for that. So anyway, this was sent to ground control courtesy of Radiolink. I want to thank them for sending this for review. It's a really cool little charger, and I'm going to be using it right away. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.